Hey everyone, hope you had a beautiful day. Welcome to this live session by Intellipaat. My name is Anirudh and I'll be walking you through this session on Python. We will keep the video very concise and pithy and go about understanding a bit about Python and why you need to learn about it in 2020, guys. So without further ado, let's begin by checking out the agenda for this session. So let us have a quick introduction to Python and later check out why we require Python. Thirdly, we will quickly go about the huge job opportunities that Python provides. And lastly, we'll be checking out the salary, the trends, and the firms which are always on a roll when it comes to hiring Python developers, guys. So, I am sure we're all very curious about what Python actually is, right? So, let me stress on the definition here. Python is one of the most powerful programming languages that exists today, and it will still be on the top in the next coming decade as well. So, guys, Python is a polyvalent language. Well, what do we mean by polyvalent? Well, this pretty much means that Python has its foot deep into more than three big concepts, guys. So you can use it everywhere in everything, and pretty much it has the frameworks and the libraries for the most recent technologies such as artificial intelligence, machine learning, data science, robotics, and so much more. I think most of all, as learners, we should all be concerned. What we should be concerned with is pretty much at the end of the day, the language has to be very beginner friendly and make life simple for learners, right? So I want you guys to give a thought about this. So maybe as a fresher out of college and beginning to learn your first set of codes, and you are presented with code that might get you to scratch your head and not figure out what it means. Well, this is bad, right? Guys, not to worry. Python has got you covered here totally. I remember the days when I began learning Python all those years ago. Man, if I had to do it all again, trust me, I would do it the same way that I have actually done. And it is still so much fun and so much learning even after all of these years. And let me stress on this because as a learner who's into Python, you will want to step up your learning one level after another so subtly that you will not even realize that you're mastering important concepts here. And this will eventually help you land a really good job where working is fun and the pay is handsome. So the next big thing you need to be aware is that Python has the biggest community ever for a programming language. So learners and collaborators from all across the globe come together to help each other write code and figure stuff out together. And in my opinion, this is the best part about the language which makes it fun, right? So with a quick introduction, let me ask you a question. Guys, let's keep this session very interactive, alright? So I'm going to ask you guys a question and I'll give you 10 seconds. So go ahead and write the answer down in the comment section below. So we already know Guido van Rossum invented the Python language, right? But do you guys know about the origin of the name? Well, can you take a guess? Can you tell me why Python was named as Python? Your 10 seconds starts now, guys. Hit the comment section. So I'm guessing a couple of you got it right. So Python was named after a TV show which Rossum used to watch back in the day, guys. And no, it has absolutely no relation to the Python snake. Fun fact, right? So let's quickly move on to the next part of the session where we'll check out why. Sorry about that. So where we'll check out why we require Python, right? So we're talking about why Python is the king of the ring here. So on your screen right now, I have three syntaxes, guys. So I have three syntaxes on the screen. One is from C#, one is from JavaScript, and the other is from Python. Give it all a read and find out if you can make any sense of the code. I am emphasizing on readability here as many of you might have figured out. Reading the C Sharp code and the JavaScript code will hold you back for a while because you might not know what is going on there. So check out the Python code or take a guess. Do you know what str stands for? Simple, string operations, right? So all three syntaxes on the screen do the exact same thing of extracting a substring from one entire text entry, guys. So look at how short and concise the Python code is. And guys, this is just one line, right? So I remember back in the day when I was building my own deployment engine using C Sharp. I had to write about 26,000 lines of code, and this took me a couple of months to wrap up. And at the end of it, I was left baffled about how much you could put down on the keyboard to get some stuff running, right? But then I decided to move it on to Python and do some coding there. And eventually my deployment project was built in Python. And man, oh man, was that fun to do. Because in Python, the code was really short. I could understand every single line. And the indentation part of Python is the best thing that exists for me. So I think this is where a couple of years ago I decided to move to Python, guys, to be honest with all of you. And I've ever been there since, and what a ride it has been. So Python is a beginner friendly language which is extremely simple and extremely elegant as well. If I had to express it better, it is like one of those fancy German cars, right? So think about BMW, think about Mercedes-Benz, and etc. So give that a thought. And I want to stress on this further, guys. So check this out. We're all sure that when we start learning the practical aspect of coding in the beginning, right? So we usually go about checking out the infamous Hello World program, always, right? Or 99% of the time. So hypothetically, let us say you're a nascent learner and you have no idea how to code. And on the screen, I have for you a piece of Java code, guys. So go ahead and check it out. Take a second and see if you can make sense out of it. Well, if you could, that's really good, guys. You are exposed to the world of object-oriented programming. However, if you're not, you will be left apart and not know what is going on with that Java code, right? Do you really have to type out all of those stuff to just print hello world on the screen? Well, this is exactly my point here. Check out the next line. One straight line which prints it out with Python, and guess what? I have the output on the second line too. It doesn't get any more simpler than this, to be honest, guys. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to, demotivate you guys into thinking that Java is less useful and Python is more. Absolutely not. What I'm trying to tell you here is that, Python just makes everything easier for us. Well, Java has its own, set of advantages. And back in the day, here's a fun fact. Java was the #1 programming language until Python came by. Well, we'll be talking about trends in the upcoming slides. So next up, let us talk about the comfort of coding, guys. I've written code on my laptop, my MacBook, and hell, I've written code on my PlayStation as well. By the way, do we have any gamers in the house? Anyway, so coming back to this, Python is a very user-friendly language when it comes to the operating system dependency, guys. So you can write your code in Windows, you can write it in Linux, you can write it in Mac OS, and majority of the other operating systems as well. And you can write it in operating systems which run on all form of Linux too. The number here, cannot be capped, and it is really that big. Cool, right? See, because at the end of the day, we all have our preferences, and some of us might love Windows and not prefer Mac OS, and others might be hardcore Apple fans and they do not prefer Microsoft's products or any vanilla flavored Linux for that matter. And all this has to be taken into account to make sure that you as a programmer and as a learner must feel at home when you're going about learning and mastering the language. So next up, let us check out how programmers and non-programmers compare when we talk about Python and as a general purpose programming language, guys. First, let us talk about the programmer part of it. At the end of the day, we as hardcore programmers prefer to understand the language and put it to full use at the earliest. And we need to make this because at the end of the day it has to make our work simpler, and we need to stay on top of our game most of the time. And eventually this will push us on a track of efficiency, and guys, this efficiency is sort of addictive. So I see myself pushing always to attain really good efficiency numbers in terms of my efforts, time, and a lot of other components as well. And next, not all of us here are learners who just work on our own, right? Think about that. So most of the learners and programmers are hired by a firm where you are asked to work, develop, and improve a certain product alongside a team, right? So you'll be working side by side, with other peers and developers, guys. So it makes it very important that you need to find out how you can stay efficient, but at the same time, how you can be a team player as well, right? With Python's amazing readability, you can always figure out what the code does, and your peers can figure it out easier too. In my opinion, this adds to the overall productivity in the team and among the coders as well. And guys, now let us talk about the non-programming part of the argument. So the first and the foremost thing that they require is a structured process of learning the concept, guys. And most of all, it has to be easy to understand, easy to grasp and work on it later. Because non-programmers, in my experience, prefer a language which is easy to figure out, and they want to play a guessing game with the syntax, even though they might not fully know what the syntax does. They prefer loads and loads of visualization and user interface requirements, which I can understand. Because I was there as a beginner all those years ago, and only with first hand coding experience, we become masters of the language, right? So we're pushing this much about Python, right? So it has to have some sort of a competition in the field. Every BMW needs a Mercedes, and every Swiggy 40% coupon must be countered by a 50% off from Zomato, right? Give that a thought. And similarly, for Python, our biggest competitor is the language of R. It is similar to Python and it has its own advantages, guys. However, I'll not be diving into R because it is not in the scope of this particular tutorial. But hey, at this point of time, I want to tell you guys that we have in-depth tutorials on R and lots of other interesting videos on our YouTube channel. So make sure you stop by our videos page and check out the content our subject matter experts put out for you on a daily basis, guys. So eventually, coming back to R, as I said, it is one of the biggest competitors to Python. Competitors don't think of it in the monetary value or anything, because at the end of the day, both Python and R are open source and they are free. But then R is almost as efficient as Python as well. And hey, it has its own set of use cases too. But primarily, the one important takeaway for you guys from this slide is that R is mainly used to design prototypes, guys. So it might be, some quick dirty code of an idea that you thought of, or a small unstructured project that you want to implement as well. And R is mainly dependent on the feed flow model where you keep pushing out prototypes and codes all day long. Hey, but here's a big but. But then, can you do most of the stuff on R that you can do on Python? Well, mostly yes. But here is where Python steps up its game, guys. I can confidently tell you that based on my expertise and certain trends in statistics, Python is the language which is preferred when you want to go about starting and finishing a project. This is basically what we call as end-to-end development, where we'll be handling every single thing in Python itself. Think of the thousands and thousands of libraries that Python offers to all of us as learners, right? So if you do know any of the libraries which Python offers, head to the comment section and leave us a message there, guys. So anyway, coming back to this slide, do you have to do any front-end development? Sure, use Python. Do you need the data to support and go along with that front end? Sure, you can use Python to manage your entire backend as well. Do you want to beautify it? Again, yes. Do you want to do really amazing visualization with Python? Yes. Do you want to develop games and design user experience modules? Yes, yes, and yes. Python has you covered everywhere. So how cool is this, guys? And you might be wondering at this point of time. So okay, Anirudh, I want to learn Python and master it end to end. But what will I gain out of it? What are the monetary benefits? Fear not, my fellow learners. This is exactly what we'll be looking at next. So we'll be checking out, the sort of job opportunities you're exposed to when you want to learn Python and work on the same as well. So let us say you guys are avid web developers and you want to learn Python web development. And most certainly you might be wondering about the complexity of going about doing this, right? Well, Python welcomes us with big arms in this segment, guys. It provides us with so much packages for us to use and learn about web development. Firstly, we have something called Django. Guys, Django is a free and open source web application framework which is basically written in Python. So what is a framework? A framework is nothing more than a collection of modules that make development easier at the end of the day. So they're grouped together or they allow you to create applications or even websites from an existing source, guys. So this helps you avoid doing it from scratch again and again. Well, this is how, websites, even the simple ones which are designed by just one single person, can still include all of the advanced functionalities like, authentication support, management and admin panels. You can have, comment boxes, you can have contact forms, file upload support, and so much more. In other words, if you were creating a website, from scratch, you would need to develop these components by yourself, right? By using a framework instead, these components are already built. So all you need to do is configure them properly to match your site. And next we have Flask, guys. So Flask is a web development framework again. This means that, Flask provides you with all of the tools, the libraries, the technologies that will allow you to build a web application. This web application can be, it can be some sort of a web page, you can have a blog, you can have a wiki page, or you can go as big as a web-based calendar application or a commercial website as well. Flask is part of the categories of the micro framework, guys. Also, what are micro frameworks? If you do guys know about it, then you know what to do. Hit the comment section. For the people who are not exposed to micro frameworks, guys, micro frameworks are normally, it is just another framework with little to no dependencies with any of our external libraries. Well, you might be wondering that this might have pros and cons, right? Well, yeah. So pros would be that the framework is really light. There is very little dependency to update and watch for security bugs and all of these. And cons is that sometimes you have to, do more work all by yourself, or increase yourself, with the list of dependencies by, adding plugins one after the other. So this rounds up Flask. And third, we have Pylons, guys. So the Pylons web framework is basically designed for building web applications and sites in the easiest and the most concise manner possible. They can, range from something small as a single Python module to a substantial, directory layout for larger and more complex web applications as well. Pylons pretty much come with project templates that you can help, to bootstrap pretty much a new web application project, or you can start from scratch and set things up exactly as desired, guys. There are more web frameworks than what's shown. If we keep pushing on it in one area of Python, guys, we'll end up in a huge ocean worth of information. My goal here is not to overwhelm you with all of these concepts, but rather to tell you about how you can stretch your wings and code in Python based on your requirements and work methodologies, guys. Sounds good, right? And here's another thought for you guys. So, a Django developer earns about 8 lakhs per annum even as a fresher completely out of college. So, as an experienced developer, however, the median salary is around 20 to 40 lakhs per annum. And that's a big number, right? So, give that a thought. And next, I am sure this was coming, right? You were expecting this. Artificial intelligence. And my god, what a boon this is to the entire world. You know, I remember the days where I was reading that artificial intelligence will one day revolutionize the world. Well, guys, look around. We are already living in a world where AI has been so subtly integrated that you'll find it tough, no, that artificial intelligence being standing out. Everything from the simple "Hey Google," "Hey Siri," to probably the suggesting you lovely ads on the latest phone on the top e-commerce sites which we have, all the way till guiding rockets out of the atmosphere into deep space, guys. So the opportunities here are endless. So coming to Keras, guys, Keras is a high-level neural network API which is again written in Python, and it is capable of running on top of TensorFlow, Theano, or CNTK. Well, CNTK is pretty much Microsoft's cognitive toolkit, and TensorFlow is the Google's brainchild as well. So coming back to Keras, it was developed with the focus on enabling fast experimentation. So being able to go from just an idea to result with the least possible delay is the key to doing really good research work, right? So you'll be using Keras if you need a deep learning library that pretty much allows you easy and fast prototyping as well. But how can we do this? Well, through user friendliness, good modularity, you'll have extensibility, and so much more. You'll be using Keras if Keras pretty much supports both convolution neural networks and recurrent neural networks as well. And hey, you can combine these two too. So that's another big added advantage. And it runs seamlessly on your CPUs and your GPUs as well. So it is absolutely fine if you do not understand the terminologies that I've just mentioned. You can always go about mastering the language and earning a certificate in Python and be one among thousands of learners in Intellipaat, guys. So make sure you check out our Python certification training page for more information. Or hey, make sure to stay till the end where I'll be walking you through our course and helping you on your way to become a master in Python. Anyway, so coming back, let's talk about TensorFlow, guys. So TensorFlow is the most famous deep learning library in the world, and it is a part of Google, right? So all of Google's products use machine learning in pretty much every product they own to improve the search engine, to improve translation, what else? Image captioning, to give you recommendation. Lots to think about, right? So to give you a very concrete example, Google users can experience a faster and a more refined searching adaptability with artificial intelligence. So if the user types a keyword in the search bar, Google pretty much provides ideas and suggestion. And so what Google is trying to here to do is they want to use machine learning and deep learning to take advantage of their massive data sets to give users the best experience. So who uses TensorFlow? Guys, three different groups of people make use of machine learning, to be honest. The first thing that comes on top of my head is researchers, guys. And secondly, data scientists, obviously. And third, programmers, guys. So they can all use the same tool set to collaborate with each other and improve their efficiency. And guys, think about it. Google does not have any data. They have the world's most massive computer. So TensorFlow was pretty much built to scale, guys. TensorFlow is a library which was developed by this team called as the Google Brain team to accelerate machine learning and deep learning neural network research. So it was built on multiple CPUs, it was built to run on multiple GPUs as well, and even on mobile operating system. It has several wrappers in, several languages such as Python, Java, or hey, even C++ too. And we have OpenCV, guys. OpenCV, so guys, do you know what OpenCV stands for? Head to the comment section if you do. So let me spoil it for you guys. So OpenCV pretty much stands for Open Source Computer Vision Library, guys. It is an open source computer vision and machine learning software library, as the name suggests. And it was built to provide a common infrastructure for computer vision applications, and at the end of the day to accelerate the use of machine perception in commercial products as well. And guys, I can go on and on about AI, but we have to move on to check further technologies as well, right? So next up I have for you is big data. So big data is it is data at the end of the day, but with a huge size, right? Big data is a term which is used to describe a collection of data that is again huge in size, and yet it keeps growing exponentially with time. In short, such data is so large and so complex that none of the traditional data management tools and languages are able to store it or process it efficiently. Here's a fun fact, from our friends at Facebook. So, do you guys have any idea about the amount of data they go through? To just sate your curiosity, let me just hit you with a couple of numbers. So, there are 2.3 billion monthly active users on Facebook, and this number just keeps going up. So at the end, in 1 year, they pretty much have 250 billion photos which are uploaded to their servers. So what does this equate to? Around 350 million photos per day. Yes, I said 350 million per day. So okay, numbers, the users, all this adds up. So how much of it is it, in terms of data? So guys, Facebook generated, pretty much 4 petabytes of data per day. 4 petabytes. So if you do not know how much a petabyte is, it is 10 lakh gigabytes. So 1 petabyte is 10 lakh gigabytes, guys. 10 lakh, yes. Think about that and contemplate about it. And now, coming to Hadoop, it is a very easy to, it is pretty much very easy to score a good job, which requires Hadoop or Spark for that matter as well. There are really highly paid jobs which just requires you to have good work methodologies, and you have to be efficient in handling and analyzing data, guys. So what is Hadoop? So Hadoop is an open source distributed processing framework that manages data processing and storage for all the big data applications which run on a clustered system. It is at the center of a growing ecosystem of big data technologies that are primarily used to support the things that that coming on top of my head right now are advanced analytics initiatives, predictive analysis, data mining, machine learning applications, and so much more. Now, coming to Spark, it is a lightning fast cluster computing technology, guys. It is pretty much designed for fast computation. It is based on again Hadoop's MapReduce, and it extends the MapReduce model to efficiently use it for more types of computation, which includes interactive queries, stream processing, SQL libraries, and so much more. However, guys, the main feature of Spark is that its in-memory cluster computing is its thing. It is what it's known for, and that increases the processing speed of an application and takes it to new heights, guys. So Spark is again designed to cover a wide range of workloads such as batch applications, or what else, iterative algorithms, interactive queries with SQL, as I mentioned, and streaming as well. Apart from supporting all these workloads in any respective environment or system, it reduces the management burden of maintaining separate tools as well, right? So imagine the number of tools you'll require to handle a petabyte of data. Man, that's totally overwhelming. And now quickly coming to Dask. Guys, Dask provides advanced parallelism for analytics, and it enables high performance to scale for all the tools that you love, and again you can make use of it. So Dask is again open source and freely available. It is developed in coordination with other community projects such as NumPy, Pandas, Scikit-learn, and so much more. It is used to scale NumPy workflows, enable multidimensional data analysis in a lot of applications. Think about earth science, think about satellite imagery, think about genomics, think about biomedical applications, machine learning algorithms again, and so much more. So next, let us dive into the world of data science. Woof, data science, right? The highest paying programming job revolves around data science. So what is up with data science? Guys, again, head to the comment section and let me know what you think about data science. So data science, is a detailed study of the flow of information which comes from a colossal amount of data which is present in an organization's repository. It involves obtaining meaningful insights from raw and unstructured data, which is obviously then processed, using analytical methods, programming methods, and business skills as well. So NumPy is, a general purpose array processing package in Python. It provides a very high performance multidimensional array object and tools which are used for working with these arrays. It is fundamental to know that it is used for scientific computing mainly when we use it with Python. It contains various features, and the most important one which I can think of is probably, as I've mentioned, the powerful n-dimensional array object that it gives us. Second, it has so many sophisticated functions which make our lives so simple at the end of it. And guys, it has tools for integrating everything. Hey, you can integrate C, C++, and even Fortran code as well. Boom, think about that. And it is very useful for algebra as well. You can do Fourier transforms, random number capabilities, and whatnot. Besides its obvious scientific use, NumPy can also be used as an efficient multidimensional container of generic data as well. And now guys, coming to matplotlib. So matplotlib is again another Python 2D plotting library which produces publication quality figures. This is important. In a variety of hard copy formats and interactive environments across various platforms as well. So matplotlib can be used in Python scripts, Python shells, and Jupyter notebooks as well. It can be used on web server applications and pretty much any good graphical user interface toolkit as well. So matplotlib is the brainchild of this person called John Hunter, who along with many of its contributors has put in an immeasurable amount of time and effort into producing a piece of software which is utilized by thousands and thousands of scientists worldwide. And coming to pandas, guys, pandas is an open source Python library again as everything else, which is used to provide extremely high performance, easy to use data structures, data analytics tools for Python programming language again. So Python with pandas is used in a wide range of fields including academic purposes, commercial domains. So what are commercial domains? Well, think finance, think economics, think statistics, analytics, and so much more. And again, Seaborn is another Python data visualization library that I wanted to mention because at the end of the day, Seaborn is pretty much based on matplotlib. It provides a high-level, interface for drawing attractive and informative statistical graphics. But let us now dive into the details of the modules and other concepts here, guys. So basically, as I've said, all that we are trying to convey is that with these modules alongside Python, you can be on your way to mastering the language and putting it to full use when you interview for Python or go for a Python data science job as well. Oh, hey, on that note, in case you're preparing for any interviews, make sure you check out our blog section on the website. We have numerous blogs on interview questions and we always have had positive feedback about them, guys. So I'm sure you guys can make use of the questions and crack those interviews. So go for it and check it out. And now, the most interesting thing yet. Moving on to the median salary, guys. Do you see that number on the screen right now? Look at how big and beautiful all those digits look like, right? Now imagine about 6 lakhs of salary a month. Yes, a month. And this you're getting paid because you're implementing a language that you love and you use. Guys, you should really be a part of, Python communities. You guys should stop by our Intellipaat community sometime. You can ask up all of your questions. You can talk to other learners and, collaborate with them about new projects and ideas as well. And hey, you never know when you will hit big, right? So we are talking, we're looking at Python to be the top of the cream or so in the world of programming. Now we need to put in some effort into finding out if this is actually the case. So let me quickly open up the website indeed.com and look for jobs which require Python, right? So here we are at Indeed.com website and whoa, so take a look at all of these jobs posted here, guys. Specifically, I want you guys to observe the panel on the left side here, right? So check this out. Look at the amount of jobs posted here. Mamma mia, this is like Christmas for a developer like me. I always love to check out the latest trends to keep in touch with what's going on in the world around us. And sometimes I find myself on websites such as Gartner.com as well to find out what's trending. Again, at the end of the day, for the same purpose. Anyway, my point here is to tell you that there are n number of jobs, guys. N number of jobs. You can try out the Indian job posting sites as well to get better clarity on Indian pricing. But hey, if you're good at what you do, people are ready to hire you and pay you really well, irrespective of the origin of your country. And again, let me just scroll down a little here. Check out the amount of internships you have. You have around 2,000 internship opportunities as well. And this keeps upgrading every single day, guys. So you get paid really well as an intern too. And there are good chances that you will be converted as a full-time employee and you can expect top pay as well. Makes sense, right? Come on, money is surely a motivating factor, but learning along the way and enjoying that learning, guys, this is clearly, a win-win for all of us out here. So you have about 13,000 jobs, 13, as you can see on the screen, which is providing a salary estimate of $130,000. Think about the numbers, guys. Again, n number of jobs, as I've already been stressing for a while. Anyway, just coming back to my slides here. We've checked out, we need to check out the people that are hiring, right? So coming to the opportunities in the Indian subcontinent and worldwide as well. Here are the dream companies that many of us want to be a part of. I am sure, right? So think about it. And hey, guess what? I can guarantee you that all of these mentioned firms make use of Python one way or another, guys. This might seem like a small thing when you just say it out, but give it a very strong thought. One language and we have firms worth billions here. Billions, and most of them are worth billions each, right? So one language to unite them all. So I hope you got that movie reference. So coming back to it, guys, do you remember shopping for that new pair of shoes or mobile or something, and you're gonna see the same ad when you're scrolling through your Instagram feed or your Facebook newsletters as well? Again, Python. Getting recommendations based on job searches that you've done on LinkedIn previously, Python. language processor on Evernote, the working of the Android system core, the top trending tweets on Twitter, which is always erupting on something or the other, right? So Skype, Adobe, Apple, Walmart Labs. Come on, guys. These are the firms you should be looking at in case you want to stretch your legs and go about working and enjoying the language, among all of the perks that you get. And hey, coming to car companies as well, guys. This is the entire industry. This entire industry pretty much revolves around the customer. If there is a trend which is started by one company or a person, you can see other firms jumping on it and performing in-depth analysis about the same, right? Think about a couple of situations, and in the car industry, I am sure you can find many. Especially in the Indian market, the industry here is on a roll all the damn time. So guys, lots of things you can do in Python, lots of money to make, and best of all is to stay, trending for a really long time. That's a real good bragging, right? And it sounds cool to me. What about you? So I'm sure it sounds cool to you as well, right? So let's begin to wrap up our short session here, guys. I'm sure you guys have this question in your mind right now. So, after being an investor for a while, here's the lesson that I have learned. The best investment you can do is on your education, guys, because at the end of the day that pays the best interest there is. So how strong is this quote? I absolutely love it. And guys, as I've mentioned, to go further and dive into the languages and learn more about them, make sure you visit our blog pages and our YouTube channel, because here we have subject matter experts who work round the clock to get you the best content there is. And our goal here is simple, guys, to get you trained up and ready for all of the situations in all of the big Fortune 500 companies, right? So let's say you just want to learn the language, to sate your curiosity, or you want to work on it to probably compare it with another concept you've learned. Or hey, let's say you're already a subject matter expert in a domain and you just want to stretch your limits into other arenas and play around there as well. So at the end of the day, what I'm trying to tell you is make sure you subscribe to our channel, stay in touch with the channel always, and the blog pages daily as well, because all those are upgraded on a daily basis, and this will get you updated and ready for the industry. And guys, if you want to master the language and have a tight grip on it, unlike anything else, if you want to perform in-depth operations and learn the language like no other, hey, let me help you with that as well here, right? So let me quickly open up our Intellipaat's certification page, and guys, this is one of the most special certification programmings that we have here on Intellipaat. We have so many, but then at the end of the day, we have Python learners in huge numbers. As I've already said, right? So Python is cool and we want to make it cooler for you guys. So guys, this is an industry leading certification program, and we're here to offer you both instructor led and self-paced courses for you guys. So you can prefer whatever you want based on your learning, most of all your timing constraints as well. But then hey, it is always nice to have an instructor led live session, so you can clear up your errors then and there with the instructor, right? And you know what? You have job assistance as well. Then guess what? Lifetime access along with all of the upgrades which come along with it. So nice, right? So, we'll be covering a lot of Python in detail here. We'll be starting right with the basics of OOPS, NumPy, SkyPy, Matplotlib, Pandas, Scikit, scraping, and even touch Python for Apache Spark as well. And at the end of the course, you will have an industry level project that you can do, and you can prove your mettle here, guys. So this certification is pretty much, recognized in over 80 big MNCs like Ericsson, Cisco, Cognizant, Sony, Musigma, Saint-Gobain, Standard Chartered, TCS, Genpact, Hexaware. Come on, so much more. And hey, we have subject matter experts, who are software architects, and they are pretty much our advisors for the course as well. So guys, if you need any help with any of these courses, make sure you get in touch with our support team. We are here for you 24/7 and 365 days of the year. We're always happy to help fellow learners as well. So guys, I hope this session has helped you by giving you a direction about Python and the industry as well. We'll talk again really soon, and in the meantime, go ahead and master the language. And hey guys, have a lovely weekend ahead. Thank you.